Hi, everyone, and welcome to another Toonkind at 12 FPS. This one is called Show of Hands. I am Wick, and I am here today with.
Hello, I'm Kraken. Happy to be here.
Yay!
And I am playing Craigory Danthew. Wick, I don't know if. I imagine you're planning to introduce your person when they show up. I assume.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Ooh. But
Mystery.
yes, it is a mystery. But for now, just to use it as a reference point, we'll use the last FPS that you were in, Gregory, and say it's been about probably what, maybe a week and a half or so, and you find yourself pretty much on the opposite side of the continent,
As you do. Just
as you
casually.
do.
Of course. No intent. Yes, there's every intent here. This is on purpose. But just
Um,
as you do.
Surprisingly, you hadn't had much trouble finding the town of interest. Uh, it's about northeast from Villestown, which is uh, kind of the big city, right, in UPA.
Yeah, the
Um,
capital.
yes, it is the capital. Um, and so you have found yourself in quite the, well, there's no other word to describe it, but shady town of Razor's Edge, which is on the coast of UPA to the northeast. Um, and it's pretty quiet here, actually. You want to make a perception check?
Boy, do I.
I don't have much for this part, but well, I'll do it.
Ha!
Eight. Great. Um, well, you know it's a town.
You think it's the
Okay.
right town.
You're pretty sure it's the right town. It's tough to tell what kind of town it is because it just looks kind of old. It's a little dusty, but somehow also muggy because you're kind of near the coast. Um, and there are only a couple people milling about, but by the way, they kind of give you the side eye. It seems like they don't get too many visitors here. Um, but you actually, uh, surprisingly, there is a town map. You kind of just nearly run into it while you're looking around.
Oh no.
Um, and it's
Craigory maps. Excellent. Please continue.
um, and it doesn't help that it looks rather weathered down. You could still see a couple landmarks, um, but you're kind of just you want to take a look at it. I don't know.
Yeah, investigation on the map.
Okay,
Let's see how this goes.
I don't have an actual
This is
I
on
don't have
track.
an actual
This is,
map.
yes. Don't worry because this man, look at that dice. Look me in the eyes. This man cannot read maps. 10 is one
Yes,
of his
this
better
map.
attempts.
Oh no. But so you know it's a map, and you know it's a map of the town. But the way that everything is a little jagged and there are angles everywhere, it's kind of tough to read.
Frankly, it's a miracle
And
he made it here.
I mean it's really not a difficult town to find. It's small, but like you pretty much just keep heading towards the sea. Eventually you just run into it. So but this map is proving rather difficult to read. Um and do you uh, well, what do you do now? You're kind of just
Well,
just staring at this map.
as he does, and as usual, is comprehending nothing. So he's just going to have to go ask a person, this obviously new stranger in town. walking up to someone and asking, hey, where is... I don't know if he even has the name of the shop, because I don't have the name of the shop. He just has the name of the person.
Great, because let me clue you in on a little secret. I don't know the name of the shop either. I didn't get
Excellent.
that far.
All right. Yeah.
But there is one thing you had noticed on the map because it wasn't part of the map in the first place. There was something kind of tucked in the little frame in the corner. It's like a little note card. So you
Oh.
want to yes.
Oh, he's looking. He's
And
snooping.
and it, he are you going to take the I'm assuming the little note card. It just has a symbol on it. I meant to draw it and I forgot, but it has a peculiar symbol on it. It looks like a needle and thread, but it's shaped in the way like those like the doctory symbol stuffs, like with the serpents and whatnot. Do you know the
Caduceus.
yes, that thingy. But it's but instead of like snake and whatever thingy, it's like a needle and sewing thread and stuff.
Oh,
Um,
perfect. This seems to be exactly what he's looking for. He's found the symbol. He has not found where it is.
yeah,
Step
you turn over the
one.
card. There's no info on it.
Great.
It's
Well,
just a card.
he has a card. He's just going to walk up to someone and be like,
Well,
hey.
luckily, it doesn't look like you have to because now there's someone approaching.
Oh.
They've noticed that you've taken the card. Um, and so, time for me to post the reference. Uh, so, this rather interesting looking tune comes up and says, so, it looks like you're new in town.
Yeah,
Did I
that would
post?
be correct.
We did post. We did post.
Listen,
Go ahead.
I'm looking for this. Showing the paper, tapping the symbol. It's just like this is related to like the doctor here, right?
Uh, her mouth kind of curls into a little smile and says, "Yeah, you could call him that. You really want to meet him?" And she raises an eyebrow, just kind of questioningly.
Yes. Yep. Yep. Definitely.
Okay, and she just turns around and she makes a little gesture like, "Follow me." Um, she's headed right for the nearest alley.
John Mulaney in my head going secondary locations. Oh, but he is following. He came all this way. He knew this would probably get shady pretty fast, but he's following but trying to be alert.
So you get about like halfway down this alley before she turns quickly back around to you. By the way, uh, Gregory, you're about like 6 feet tall.
Yep.
She has about like an inch or two on you. So she's
Oh,
just a little bit taller.
giant
Um,
woman.
she, she, um, she kind of flips her hair a little bit and says, "Oh, where are my manners? I forgot to introduce myself." And she kind of just adjusts the hem of her dress for a moment before saying, "I'm Belladonna. It's nice to meet you." And she holds out one of her hands for a little handshake.
Nice to meet you. Gregory's going for the handshake, but the name he decides to give is going to be it's Nico.
Is what?
Nico.
Me, Nico.
Yeah, he was just like, maybe not my real name here.
And she she gives you a firm handshake. Oh, it's nice to see you, Nico. And she gives another cute little smile. So, um, you notice though, besides her general appearance, she is also carrying a box under one arm. It's just looks like a regular cardboard box. Just thought I'd point that out. Um,
No reason whatsoever.
yeah, no reason. Um, and she starts. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the chat and I couldn't help but no, but the
Oh dear.
um, all right, okay, but so now she turns back around and uh, she it's so she actually steps back to be next to you, and she very delicately with her rubber hose arms, she wraps one of them around Craigory's arm, um, the one with not the glove on.
Okay.
Um,
This would be his
uh,
left side, just to be. Yeah.
yes. Hmm. How did you get here? And she's just trying to leisurely stroll with you. Um,
Well, he's tensed up some. And he just goes, I walked.
you, you are.
Sure.
Sorry.
I
I
hadn't,
walk.
me, the player, hadn't put much thought into how he'd made it here. Like, he's
Well,
just
admittedly,
saying he
I
walked.
don't know. I don't know how long it takes.
I would roll deception just because it sounds like a bullshit answer. Like, why would you lie?
Okay,
You idiot.
we'll go. Go ahead if you want. Here, hold
You
on.
know,
Let me
just
check.
for
What's
funsies.
my?
Because it is a fun modifier
Here,
he
hold
has
on.
for that.
Oh, wait. Oh, I'm looking at the. Okay, hold on a second.
Well, I've set
It's
myself up for fun.
well. Let's see. Okay, she did only slightly better. Okay, so for a moment she goes along with it, but you can tell how like her smile kind of slips off for a moment, kind of like, wait a minute, how could hmm? She knows that it sounds really weird, but she's also like, well, she follows up with, well, I hope it wasn't a very long walk, and she's kind of looking like, where did you come from anyway? I don't know where you.
She doesn't know. He could have walked. Uh,
And
she's gonna go, no, I'm used to long treks. It's good.
hmm.
So, not to, you do know where we're going, right? Just because he doesn't know
Oh,
this town.
right.
And there's a stranger attached to his arm.
Oh, yeah, you you probably want to get there quickly, don't you? And she kind of she drops a little bit of her cutesy charm. She's just kind of like, you kind of just want to get there, right?
Uh, no offense, but a little bit.
And she gives a little nod. Respect that. Um, and she actually lets go of your arm. Um, and I'm gonna have her roll survival because it's funny. Okay, hold on. Perfect. So, what she does, I was actually rolling at disadvantage, by the way,
Oh my
because what she
god.
does is she very simply, um, it, she tells you she kind of motions for you to walk a little faster, um, as she goes and very pointedly covers her eyes with her hand and just books it.
What?
I mean, she doesn't run, but she does some speed walking.
Oh, uh,
Yes.
like bye. And he's lifted a hand to wave, like just sort of confusedly, but she's looking away and she can't see anyway, so he just looks like a complete doofus.
Wait, follow me. If you're not, she can't tell. But
Oh, 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 okay. Oh, he's following. Okay.
you you
he,
only,
he picks that
you
up
only
then.
take about 3 turns, and then she stops abruptly and points to the left. Here we are. And lo and behold, to your left, there is a building. It looks relatively nondescript, but it has the sign that has the same symbol as the card.
Oh, well, there you go. Uh,
And she gives a little chuckle and she's like, sorry if that was a little confusing. See, the easiest way to find this place is to get lost. And she flashes a little smile.
that's actually very neat. Huh.
Speaking of which, I should probably get lost. And she she actually gets the box out from under her arm and she takes a look at it for a moment before holding it out to you. You think you could give this to him? I'd rather not see his raggedy face anytime soon.
Uh, well, I'm going in anyway. Thanks for showing me the way.
No problem, cutie. And she gives a little wink, passing the box on to you and walking in the other direction. She's just gonna head out.
Because none of that was ominous at all. Wonderful.
Also, do you want to like look at this box or anything? Or
Yeah, he's snooping. Like, is the box like, can he just like pull the flaps open or is it taped shut? What's going on here? Can he shake it?
it looks like it's. I mean, you could do all of the above if you'd like. The box is taped shut, so you'd have to probably like cut it open if you really wanted to look inside it. But I won't make you like roll investigation because you're holding it in your hand. It looks like a normal cardboard box. It's surprisingly light. Um, and when you shake it, like like you, you can't quite hear what's in it. It just kind of sounds empty, but you feel like still a little bit of weight. Like it's light, but there's still something in it.
Cool. I know exactly what he's going to do. He is just going to cut the tape and open it because he plans to just cast a mending and make it look like he didn't snoop.
Okay. Okay, so
He's
you're just gonna
nosy
open it
today.
right in front of the store.
I did
All
say
right,
that,
go
didn't
ahead.
I? You know what? He doesn't want to lose the place if apparently it's so hard to find. He's going to turn his back to it, minimum, minimum plausibility. Yeah, I'm committing. He's holding
Okay.
it.
All right, so do you take like a knife or like scissors or something? You
He does
cut the
take a knife. Let me get that hammer. Yeah, he's got a
nice.
knife.
Oh, he's got a knife. What will he do? Uh, he's gonna
Knife wizard.
what crimes will he commit? Uh, so you open the box up, like so you cut it open, lift open the flaps, and there is seems to be, at least when you first open it, nothing but packing peanuts. There's just packing peanuts.
He takes one out and he eats it.
Oh my! He just he just straight up eats it.
Crunch.
Crunch. Oh my god!
I had to follow the impulse. Listen, this is Toonkind. They're called packing peanuts.
And you know what? I have to reward you for that decision because okay, so the peanuts were not like the typical white peanuts that you find, like the white styrofoam ones. Instead, they're like slightly shaded pink, and when you eat one, it actually tastes very slightly sweet,
Oh,
and it's not unpleasant. It has a nice crunch. There's not much other taste, but it's just a little sweet.
okay, that is interesting. I think he's going to pocket one for later, and then he's going to root through to see what's in here. He's committed.
Okay, well, you start rooting around in the box, and you've got these packing peanuts kind of spilling off the sides as you're trying to look through it.
Oh God,
Um,
it's making
and
a
as
mess.
far as you can tell, uh, there is nothing else in the box but these packing peanuts.
Hmm.
As far as you can tell,
Ah.
there is nothing else. Just
Well, I
packing.
guess packing peanuts to pack stuff with needs to be delivered from somewhere. And you know what? This is more an idle curiosity thing. I think here he's just going to close it back up, kick any that escaped sort of like into the sides of the street at his sight, and then it's time to do what he actually came here for.
Beautiful. It's like kicking the ice cubes under the fridge.
Yes.
Uh, um, okay. So you've had your fun with the packing peanuts. You've closed the box. I'm assuming you put mending on it.
Yep.
Uh, and well, you can head on in. Before you do, you kind of take a quick glance at the shop front. Uh, there's nothing really like eye-catching about it. In fact, there are shades that cover both display windows. Um, like that isn't shady at all. um, but you open the door, and the little bell uh, above the door rings. And do you mind making a wisdom check? Just
Oh
a wisdom.
boy. Just a wisdom check
Uh,
versus save.
yes, just
All
a
right.
check.
Well,
Just a check.
straight 20 anyway.
Ah, all right. Yeah, that's good. Um, the place is kind of it's it's dark. It's kind of cold. Um, there there is soft lighting uh, on the ceiling. Like I don't know what kind of light system. Maybe a couple light bulbs. I don't know. Um, but you look around, and it it only creeps you out a little, which is good, because what you see before you, to the left and right walls are just filled with various tune parts on display. You got arms, you got legs, you got a couple heads, some eyes. Uh, you've got like some in like this display cabinet. You've got some just like straight up pinned to the wall with like I don't know. Uh,
Like those pins for
and there's
butterflies and insects.
yeah, we'll say that for now. Um, and these are more like display pieces, but you have a feeling these probably came from somewhere. Uh,
They don't grow
and
on trees, you know.
as far as we know, um, and there is a nice rug that's on the floor though too, kind of like a circular one. Seems pretty nice. The war. Oh my gosh, I'm talking about the war now. No, I meant to say wall or floor, and my brain went war. But the floor, sorry, is like this the it's made out of like wood. It's just wooden floor paneling. Um, and the walls are just kind of this plain brick. Um, But farther into the room, towards the back, there is a desk where you would assume the shopkeep would be. There's a chair behind it with like a burlap sack sitting on there. And behind that, there's like a row of cabinets. They look pretty old. It's just like old wooden cabinets. And there's like a cork board on the wall in the back, as well as two doors, one on the left and one on the right. And so that's the setup we have. I wish I drew a map. Uh, I don't think I needed
You painted me a word picture.
to.
All
A
right.
word.
He's going to take a few steps in. No sign of the shopkeep. I'm assuming it's, quiet in here.
I mean, whatever I've described is pretty much what's here.
Yep. He's gonna just shake the box slightly and just call out special delivery.
And so, do you say that you're like in the middle of the room, or are you closer to the door, or closer to the desk, which is like farther in the room?
Still pretty close to the door. He's only taken a step or two in.
Okay. Um,
I don't know how big the
you.
carpet is, but he may or may not be on it.
Oh, the carpet's fine. Me just flat out. Oh no, the carpet's okay. Um, there is no response.
All right. At that, I think he'll go to put the box on the desk, and then he's just gonna peruse the wares until, you know.
So you place the box on the desk. On the desk there's like a lamp and like some papers scattered about. There's also a little bell on the desk,
Oh, there we go.
like one of those little ones that you see at like a front desk.
Yep.
Um,
He's giving that a tap.
but as you, oh, you're gonna give it a tap.
Yeah, just straight up.
Okay, so you give it a little tap, ding ding, and the the burlap sack that was in the on the chair behind the desk stirs for a moment,
Oh,
uh,
oh
but
God.
then it stops.
He experimentally taps the belt again, watching this sack.
And it stirs once more, but it kind of shifts like it's turning over, and then it doesn't move.
These two have been light taps. I think he's just going to give it a hearty smack. Loud noise. Wake up.
And at that, the the burlap sack just like sits up, and like a head kind of rolls up from it, and it goes and they turn around, and, and it kind of unforms, like unfurls, and there is this tune right here. I put it in the FPS, the roll zone. Um, you can see they are covered in patches. Uh, this burlap sack, it was actually a tune that was sleeping, uh, and you have woken them up.
Uh,
Oh, oh, uh, uh, hi. And his eyes take a moment to kind of adjust. Um, and you notice, one of them is bright and open, the other one's kind of partially closed. But, oh, hi, when did you get in here?
just a minute ago.
Oh, um, and he's kind of looking up at you, but then he glances down towards the box. Oh, did did you deliver this?
Uh, yeah, don't know who it's from. I mean, got it from someone named Belladonna. Don't know where she
Oh,
got it from, though.
oh,
Yeah. I don't know if there's
oh.
postage on this. Probably not.
And uh, he's like, oh, and he gives this knowing look like, so she got a, uh, oh, Donnie. She's always doing this kind of thing, putting poor saps to do her own dirty work. And he takes a sip from a teacup that is also on the desk. You notice that it doesn't actually have anything in it. He takes a sip nonetheless.
Well,
Ah,
not the worst poor sap because I am also a customer.
and he stops taking a sip and he does a pretend spit take, even though there's nothing in there. He just takes a spit take. Oh, I'm sorry, and he kind of brushes himself off a little bit, um, as if he's trying to just get a little dust off of him, even though he kind of looks he looks pretty dusty anyway. um, oh yeah, I'm sorry. I and he gives a little chuckle. I was supposed to lock the door because uh, it's technically a lunch break, and he looks at at his arm, but he doesn't have a watch. He's just like he just shrugs. But since you're here and you delivered this, and he excitedly picks up the box. Uh, I no doubt I could make an exception. Um, he's gonna reach into his hammer space. Hold on. And it's actually like the little blue patch in the front. One side is unsewn, so he goes in there. That's his little space. Ah, good. He uh he excitedly he excitedly pulls out a box cutter. Uh, but he goes to open the box. So yeah, he cuts open the box and unfolds it. And of course, you already know there were packing peanuts in it. But he looks pleasantly surprised. Oh, the packing peanuts! Oh, I knew they would have them. And he takes one and pops it in his mouth.
Yes, yes.
He gulps down a couple more before he looks at you and goes, uh, sorry, did, did you want one? And he holds out a packing peanut to you.
Craigory will take the packing peanut.
I'm man of culture, I see. I'm kidding, but he,
Incredible,
he
amazing.
scoops a handful and just kind of starts eating it. Sorry, they're my favorite snack. I just ah, they're really good. I mean, I don't even really need to eat because and he gestures to himself. He's mostly just made out of burlap and twine, and these felt patches. You know, I don't actually need to eat, but like it feels pretty good to just kind of munch on these. Uh,
Yeah, it is good texture.
yeah, especially when he pats his stomach. It gets in here and it just it, he kind of pushes down on his stomach and you hear it make it like a crinkly crackle noise.
Oh my god, I love it.
It's kind of nice. Um, Donnie always makes fun of me, but that's just how it is.
Yeah.
He folds the box back up and just kind of sets it aside. But enough of that. Unless you want some more, he leaves the box open a little bit.
It's very generous of you. I'm good for now. Uh, just kind of one thing, just to make sure. I want to make sure I'm talking to the right person. You are Dr. Mirsa?
Oh, 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 yes. Where are my manners? Uh, and He actually gets up on the desk so that when he stands, he's around the same height as you because he is about 4 feet tall. Uh, he's pretty small. Um, yes, I'm Dr. Kiran Misra. Nice to meet you. And he sticks out a hand, and it's just kind of these little frayed ends, but they look kind of like a hand. But he holds one out to you.
Misra, got it. And he's shaking.
Yes, it is. You have to admit, there's not much force behind it, but maybe it's just because he's kind of the material he's made out of is kind of the ends are kind of flimsy, but still, it's a handshake nonetheless. And he gives a big grin, and he once more is going to go into his hammer space. Let me see. Oh no! Oh my god, is it actually going to happen? Hold on a second. I did make a hammer space. Okay, what is this? What did he? Okay, so he goes in there into his little patch again, and he takes out a box of crayons, and he kind of just looks at it for a minute. And then he looks back at you. He looks back at it, and then starts holding it up to you, like trying to take measurements. He's kind of just like, so what are you in here for today? And he's trying to measure you with this box of crayons.
Cool. I am. The thing I'm really looking for is sort of raw outline. I don't know if you have that or just the full. It kind of gestures at the shop and displays the full package.
Oh, he sets down the box of crayons. Uh, ah, um, outline, and now he's just sitting on the desk, kind of cross-legged. And out. You need outline. He actually starts looking you up and down a bit. What exactly you looking for per se? And then then he takes notice of the of your what right side, I think, is where the glove is.
Yep, right hand.
Ah, and
The red right
he,
hand.
and he notices the kind of the fade before it, and he's like, "Oh, so you need a hand?" And he he kind of he looks like, "Yeah, I made a joke. It was a very bad joke."
I mean, a joke is a joke. Craigory obligingly chuckles.
No, but seriously, you just need like a hand. It kind of looks like it might be your arm. Is it your whole arm? And now he's just asking, throwing a bunch of questions at you.
Craigory is going to roll up the sleeve to kind of a bit past his elbow, and the fade essentially goes up the forearm, and by the time it gets to the elbow, it's back to solid color, solid outline. And he says, it's not necessarily that I'm looking for an entire new hand. Wiggles his own fingers. As you can see, I kind of got my own solution covered right now anyway. The thing
And
is...
go ahead.
I'm looking... The outline is basically for an experiment. I want to see if there's a sort of different way I can make this glove. Again, sort of shakes his hand in demonstration.
And the whole time he's been looking very closely at this at your arm and hand, and then his smile just kind of creeps bigger, and he's like, "Yeah, you've come to the right place. Though, I mean, I wouldn't advise experimenting. It depends on what you mean." Now, he actually turns around and he goes over. He hops off the the desk. He goes from the desk to the chair to the floor, and and he goes to uh, the cabinets that are on the back wall here. He starts pulling one or two open, but you notice also that his legs start to unspool a bit, and this thread starts shooting about and opening more cabinets. Uh, all
Oh,
right, let me
fun.
see what we've got. Uh, oh, don't worry, I'm fine. And he starts perusing a couple of the um, of the open drawers now. Let's see, let's see. So you just wanted raw outline? I mean, I could do you one better. I can get you an actual and he pulls out with one of his hands like an actual like flat arm that was like in the cabinet. Well, maybe not that one, but he puts it back in there. Um, well, I mean, we do have a couple options, uh, but he stops for a moment and turns around. You know, I I never asked your name. He stops moving completely. I never asked. Oh, how rude of me. And he kind of just pulls himself back together real quick and hops back on the chair where he pulls out a fresh sheet of paper and goes, "Well, I got to fill out your patient chart somehow, right?" He gives a smile.
Hmm.
Uh,
Uh, damn it. Here's the thing. As the player, I know Nico is a part of like an anagram thing. I can't for life of me remember what the damn last name is. But you know what? This is a doctor. This is a doctor. This is an official patient form. He seems amicable enough. Uh, Craigory gives his name. It's Craigory Danthew.
ah, and he's so he starts writing it, and you can see he actually took one of the he took one of the crayons from the box of crayons because he didn't have anything else on the table to write with.
Amazing.
And he starts spelling the name, and you realize he's started with a K and is writing in all caps, and it looks a little sloppy. Uh,
You know what? He's not going to correct him. Like, as far as like sort of aliases go, sure, Craigory with a K.
so
No one will find him now.
R. And then he gets to he spells the rest of the name right, surprisingly. But then he stops at the last name. How do you spell Dan? He writes Dan, and then he's like Dan.
Uh,
You was is it two T's
it's
or
one T, T
one T?
H E W.
H-E- a W. Okay. That knows W or U. They look almost the same. And he gives another chuckle. But all right, all right. And there are a couple of. Uh, Sorry, I saw you spell it, and I was like, yeah, that's probably how he
For
spelled it.
reference, I just spelled out what it sounds like. You wrote Craigory with a K, Danthew with a U. This is his new top security alias. Forget the anagram
Yes,
thing.
new name. Perfect. Do not steal. Um, and you do
Craigory
notice though that
Danthew.
the
It's
form
French now.
does. Wait, what?
I'm sorry. Craigory Danthew. It's French now.
Craigory Danthew. But you do notice though that the form does look relatively official. You're surprised. It looks like a pretty decent doctor's chart. Um, and there are a couple of different lines. You've got like you've got like date of birth and like or I guess date created. I don't know. Uh, you got the different sections, but he actually just hops down to a, a reason, like reason for visit, and he's like, so may I ask how how that happened? And he kind of gestures with the end of the crayon, the whole thing.
Yeah, ink remover mishap would be the most succinct way to put it.
Oh, and he he actually peers forward to take another look. It was just ink remover.
Yep, but basically the whole hand got kind of dunked in there.
Oh, ow. Did that hurt? He actually he says it in both a serious and also silly kind of way, like, it probably did, but I just want to ask.
Yes, it did. Hurt a
Hmm.
lot.
As suspected. Um, but he then gets this thoughtful look on his face, though, and he's like, "Hmm, uh, it was just ink remover." He gets off the desk, off the chair, and he walks over. I forgot to mention, next to the cabinets, there's actually a this like this tall black looking cabinet. So
Mm-hmm.
it looks a little different from the others. Um, and he opens it up, and you do notice that it's like a little bit of cold air comes out, so you can tell it's some kind of fridge, maybe. Um, and he takes out this very small bottle, closes it, and walks back over. It wasn't this though, was it? And he holds it out, not for you to take, but just to show you. It's a small glass bottle. You notice very distinctly that it's actually like a real kind bottle, because inside
Mm.
it is like this sickly green liquid.
It wasn't straight up dip, if that's what that is, but it's definitely a close variant.
Mm. Okay, that's good. And he's like, he kind of just looks at it for a moment. I don't know where the heck they come up with this stuff. He so then he goes back to the to what you can only assume is a fridge. He opens it, puts it in there. He opens it up more, and you notice that there's like actually a whole array of different bottles. And he's looking through a few of them. Uh, yeah, okay. And he holds up another one. It looks kind of clearish. Well, this is ink remover, I think. Uh, Man, I never bothered to label these. I mean, so much writing.
God, I love him.
uh,
But Craigory's just going to nod. Yeah, that looks like it'd be the stuff. If you open it up, it'd probably be a sort of Sharpie marker smell.
ah, and he he does open it up. Um, he makes a little motion like he's sniffing it, but he gives a little grin and is like, I don't know how to smell, so I don't have a nose. And he points to his face where there is obviously no nose. But I'll take your word for it.
Should Craigory go take a whiff just to confirm?
He waddles back over to the chair, gets on there, and he very hesitantly actually holds it out to you. He is a little nervous about kind of just holding it close to you,
Yeah,
but
having it out here. Uh, yeah, Craigory does do this kind of like awkward lean forward where he's trying to keep as far back as possible, but he still wants to confirm. But luckily, it is a very pungent smell, and for the little amount that it is, he gets close enough, leans in, and goes, "Yep, yep, that's the stuff."
ah, okay, good. It looks like I've treated this kind of thing before. And he corks it back up, uh, and he goes. He actually just sets it on the desk, but like very kind of far from you. It's kind of near the packing peanuts.
That's fair. Craigory's not arguing.
And he does ask though. Um, so hmm, you want me to take a look at this out here, or you want to look in the exam room? And he points to the left door behind him. Uh, is it just your arm? Is
Uh,
it anything else?
just the arm. Wherever you'd like to have a look is fine. Uh, I admit my main question coming in here today is I have had people not pleased with how I've made this sort of waves with the glove again. And
Oh yeah, is there something special about it? It kind of just looks like a glove. Um,
well,
I'm not sure how you put it on.
well, actually kind of easily because it's custom made. It's
Oh,
admittedly regular cloth, but then
oh, makes sense.
uh, basically just sort of soak it. I take ink, infuse that with my magic, soak cloth in it to dye it, and then it's the
Ah,
my outline is the stitching.
uh,
So
he's
it's me.
he's been nodding the whole way, but then when you say that it's your own outline, he kind of just stops nodding for a second. Uh, and now he kind of squints. And wh- where did you get that outline?
Uh,
You took it from yourself?
well, yeah, it regenerates soon enough. I figured out how much I need to take so that it's not extra. But yeah, it's from me.
And he he gives you another look up and down, and he cracks a bit of a smile and is like, "That's really something. I haven't had someone do that yet." Uh, I mean, I wouldn't suggest shredding some of your outline off to do that, but
I mean,
I'd do a
not
little
ideal,
tinkering
but
myself. But do you mind if I? And he admittedly he makes little grabby hands at like the glove, like, "Ooh, can I take a look?"
yeah, sure. He takes it off. He's gonna pass over the glove for inspection, and underneath it, oh hell, where's the damn picture? But
Oh,
underneath it is basically just sort of the barest suggestions of a sketch of a hand, not very visible. It's almost faded to
oh,
nothing.
he he does look at the glove in his little hands for a moment before looking at this uh very faded, sketchy hand, and he goes, "Oh, it's not as bad as I thought. I mean, you at least have the vague notion it's there." And he's squinting. He he transfers one glove to one hand. He's not wearing it, but he's holding it. And with his other hand, he goes to try to poke your nearly non-existent hand.
And with that, I need to roll a d2.
That's fine.
Okay, so the good doctor's hand passes through.
Oh, oh, geez. He can't help but be surprised for a moment. But well, no, it can be fixed. And he's more saying this to himself than to you. But he's like, "Oh no, that's fine. This is fine." Uh, uh,
It's
he takes another he takes another look at the glove. Wow. He's kind of just turning it over in his hands. This is this is really neat.
thank
You
you. He
put
looks quite
magic into
pleased.
this? This is some very good work. You do this all by yourself?
Yeah. Well, actually, this one I had a little bit of help. My friend helped me put it together, but yeah, basically,
Ah, well,
there's been more
many
than one.
hands make light work. And
Yeah.
he does another little look like, yeah, I did use hands again. He's not gonna let it go for a bit. Uh, but he uh, uh is is he allowed to make an Arcana check or something
Oh,
on it?
absolutely.
Or
Go for
okay,
it.
he's just gonna he's just curious. And I was actually doing this for laughs. Oh, oh, 17. What does that get?
Ah, now I have to think of things.
Oh, well, whoopsies.
No, you're good. Uh, I would say with a 17, there's the stuff Craigory's already talked about, how like the black stitching there is from his own outline. It's cloth that's been treated with magic. Other things to pick up can be the stitching looks practiced. The fit seems like it, well, fits like a glove. It's definitely not a, quote unquote, first attempt glove. This is something that's been practiced and honed it to a pretty good art. And, looking at it, it is clearly a magical item as well. I don't know if magical items just give off a vibe.
But um, he he can't he 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 still kind of looks it over a little more. Um, uh, so even with a 17, he's still not quite sure. He what kind of magic do you think is there any specific kind
Oh, yeah,
or?
that's. I would say this would probably be enchantment,
Uh,
if I remember
okay,
my
so he
schools of magic and D&D correctly.
me who knows nothing about schools of magic. All right, great. I mean, I can surmise what it means.
Yeah.
And so does he. He Kiran kind of looks at this, and then he looks up, and he has this very pensive look on his face. Are now I don't know if this is rude or something, but are you a wizard?
Not, not rude at all, and not a secret. Yep, I'm a wizard.
And his face does kind of light up a bit. You must be really good with magic, huh? I mean, this stuff's really good. I mean, he's just really in awe right now. He actually is just. I mean, I've done a bit of tinkering and sewing over my time, but yeah, probably learned a lot. I mean, I don't know how you learned this, but
This in particular is actually, it's based off a family thing. So it's not something I'd expect anyone else to come up with as a solution to this necessarily.
yeah, hmm. Yeah, you must be real smart. And he says that as a genuine compliment. Um,
And Craigory
you,
genuinely looks like he's preening a little. It's a good
but
compliment.
you want to roll some insight here,
Hell yeah.
just as a treat,
A little insight as a treat.
as a treat. Oh yeah,
Oh
no, you don't
dear.
notice it. That's okay. Um,
He got
well, the only
complimented.
thing you
Craigory's
notice,
not concerned with anything else at the moment. He's like, haha, I'm smart.
yeah. Well, you do notice that he's looking quite intently at the glove, but you don't notice anything else. Um, he then he places it down and he zips back over to the cabinets and starts opening a few of them. Now, I don't know where have you been getting that outline? Have you been taking it from your other arm, your hair?
It's been my leg, mostly.
That makes sense. You'd get the most out of that, but you just
Exactly.
don't want to ruin the structural integrity of your leg. And he pulls out a couple more drawers. Uh, let's see. Um, you notice a couple of them that he's pulled out is they're no longer actual arms, but spools of thread. Um, he kind of looks at a couple of them. Uh, he uh, he actually gets one of his like his legs have kind of come apart to be all like ready and stuff. They can kind of just move on their own. He actually he gets one of them to pull the glove back off from the table. He left it there, and now he's kind of comparing thread to the to the glove. Um, he you can tell kind of by looking that he's looking at the thickness and the material. Huh. Okay. Right. Hey, yeah, you mind coming over here?
Yeah, of course. Going to
Um,
step over,
and
carefully avoiding stepping on any of like his trailing bits and bobs.
he doesn't mind.
He's still being
He
careful. It's
actually
polite.
one of those threads wraps delicately around like where your elbow would be of the arm that's faded, and he kind of gently pulls it over a little closer. Yeah, let me. And he's now comparing the thread to the outline of your arm. Um, okay, that's not. And then he looks at another one. Maybe. Uh, yeah, you want it to match the same color. I mean.
Uh, that would be useful. I honestly don't know if this will work, but figure it's worth looking into.
Oh yeah, of course. And he pulls out one or two more spools before he settles on one. Okay, and then he closes a couple cabinets, opens a couple more farther down to the left, which you see now there is cloth, there is paper, and he's kind of just looking through. Let's see. Uh, and he pulls out one sheet, not of paper, but of like this felt. He's kind of comparing it with the glove. You can see him just rapidly going through different drawers, like, how will this match? Hmm. Uh, and meanwhile, his threads have been trailing behind him. He has let go of your arm, and he's kind of just looking. Um, uh, do you mind making a perception check, though?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, my boy.
okay. The,
Not quite a nat one, but
well, you know what? This actually works pretty well. Ties into something else. So while he's looking through the stuff, you seem to be rather distracted by all the other, uh, well, stuff around here. Things are kind of in disarray, but in a way that's semi-organized. There's there's kind of a bit of dust on some of the tops of things. There are actually a couple of shelves on the wall too that would have knickknacks. Those are just coated in dust. But there was also a cork board, and you notice that there are a bunch of photographs on it. And with each photograph, there is there is like one tune and Kiran next to them. Seems to be like some kind of maybe community board or something. You can only assume that these might be people he knows or clients that he has treated. But anyways, he goes, aha, and he he's now carrying like two bolts of cloth and like some sheets of paper. Okay, let's see what we're gonna do. Maybe it's best. He's looking at the desk, which is like cluttered with stuff, including the packing peanuts and whatnot. And he's like, "Yeah, let's go to the exam room." And he takes another thread and he opens the door that's now behind him, and he kind of shimmies back into the room because he's also carrying a bunch of stuff now.
God, I love this guy. He's so good.
But you're gonna follow him in.
Yep, we're committed. Craigory's following. This is going well. Why not?
So you get in there, and there is surprisingly, it looks like a relatively well lit, smaller room. It's got one of them like exam bed things, like you can just sit on it. It's you can't really call it a bed, but it's like one of those, the ones at the doctor's office.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and but there's also like another chair next to it. There are another couple of cabinets on either side of the walls. There's also like a little table with like different like instruments on it. Um, but as you take a look at the instruments while he's kind of setting things down on the opposite counter, uh, you don't see like a scalpel and like typical doctor stuff. You see like a pair of pliers. You see a saw. You see a pair of scissors. Uh, you see like these strange wire things, some sewing needles, uh, another box cutter because you can never have too many of those. Uh, and it kind of looks more like tailoring carpentry work as opposed to actual doctoring stuff. So he's kind of just setting things down. So you wanna sit in the chair? You wanna sit on the and he kind of just motions at the weird bed thing. I don't know what you call it.
Uh, I'll sit. And he picks that partially so that, it's closer to like Kiran's height, especially if he's like half unspooled doing a billion things at once.
Oh, that's cute. Um, that's really nice. And he's like, oh, all right. Um, so uh he actually pulls out like how there are a couple like cabinets underneath
Yeah.
the weird bed. Anyway, so he pulls out a couple of those and uses those as steps to get up onto the bed thing and pulls your arm up onto the 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 top of it, right?
Yeah.
So like you're sitting, but you have your arm on there, and he's also next to it. So um, now let me get something straight. And he still has the glove in hand, but he places it next to your arm. Did you just want me to make another glove, or did you want me to fix your arm? Because I think I could do that.
Uh, I may keep that in mind for later. It's very nice of you to offer to make the whole other thing. I'll be honest in turn. I kind of just had the idea I'd walk in, get some outline, walk out just to see if I could use outline that was not my own.
And you you want to make another insight check?
Boy, oh boy. Come on, Craigory.
It's okay.
Oh, nat 20. Nat 20.
Oh shoot!
Give me the deets.
All right, I'll give you the deets. Since he's been so busy, he was kind of moving stuff around. I'll say he's not going to contest that with any deception. Um, he he does say, "Oh, you just wanted to buy some materials," and he he can't help but look a bit crestfallen. He was kind of looking forward to making something for you right there. But he also has this look of, oh, of course they just wanted materials. It's not like he kind of he just looks very dejected right
Oh
now.
no!
But
And
he tries to cover it up real quick.
and yeah,
Yeah, I could process it. And he actually takes the thread, the spool of thread that he takes, and he eats that.
oh, oh.
Yeah.
I
And he just pops the whole thing in there. And he kind of just he kind of shimmies for a minute. It might just take a moment. Uh, Sorry about that. I must have I must have got a bit too excited.
well, I mean that's okay. Craigory is going to reach into Hammerspace. Yep. He pulls out sort of two slips of cloth. They are already cut into shape, all the fingers and thumbs and everything, already dyed with the magic in them. He's like, I mean, you're really interested, and that's actually pretty exciting to see. So, if I'm wanting to experiment and you want to make it, want to just do it here?
He does look a little more cheery, like, oh yeah, but you also notice he still kind of has that melancholic look in his face, especially when you actually pulled out the stuff.
Oh,
Um, but he's kind of like, oh okay, uh, that works, and he takes two pieces of cloth that are cut into shape. Looks like you already did the work for me. Um, but you could tell he's still. Uh, I'm sorry, with that 20, you can just now read this guy like a book.
oh, and it
Um,
makes Craigory feel bad. And
because like on the one hand, like because you could tell his face, like he's a mixture of, wow, that actually is really helpful, and man, I really wanted to do it myself. Does this guy think I'm like incompetent or something?
no, he was
He,
just ready. He was just ready.
I know he was ready, but God, if I have to give one tune low self-esteem, it's probably this guy.
Oh no.
Me. Yes. But but he does take them rather gratefully because you did actually save him some work though. Uh and he hmm, he takes a look. Do I want to uh, yeah, I guess. Yeah, I guess that would hmm. And he's like he's looking like should I make it to the side? Should I just make it right on your hand? What's left of it? Uh,
I mean, your choice. I've always made it off the hand because I've just had the one to work with, but you know, we can find
ah,
out.
okay. So he de- he decides to kind of just slap the two pieces together right on top of your hand.
Sandwich.
Sandwich. It's a hand sandwich now. Um, and he is he's going to get to work. Um, you are kind of uh, you're kind of wondering how this is going to work, but he kind of just takes a needle from the tray that was nearby, and he kind of just hooks it on his own like hand a little bit, and you notice now because you're so close to him and he has his hands right in front of you. There is like a little gap where like the so like his hands they're supposed to be kind of like tied shut and then you have like the frayed ends being his fingers. Well, it's not completely shut. Um, Neither of them are. And he kind of holds your hand steady with one, and with the other, um, you notice that you can only assume it's the thread that he has consumed before, and it's coming out from that space.
Oh, that's cool.
Um, and you notice though that it's actually. Do you notice? Make, make an
Percep-
Arcana check.
Arcana, hell yeah.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah,
Oh
wizard.
yeah. Uh, you're a wizard. um, you notice that it's some kind of I mean, you can only assume it's some kind of transformation magic of sorts, but as it comes out, it does look markedly different from the thread that he had before. It's like the same thickness, and the same color, but as he starts working it with it, it actually looks extremely stiff. Um, you can feel that this is different. This seems to be he is wielding straight up outline, just stitching this very painstakingly because it doesn't work like the same kind of thread. It it seems to be something else entirely now. You're not quite sure where he got this magic from, but maybe there's some kind of process when he eats it and then when it comes out like that. But
He's watching
do I need to
intently.
make a do I have to make a couple checks or
Uh, all I had prepared for this kind of thing was like, I don't know, this will work. Roll a d20. But for the actual stitching, when Pip did this, it was dexterity.
okay, I can do a dex check. Oh boy, I
I'd
wonder
say
how this is
like
gonna
with
go.
advantage, because clearly he's got experience. Like he's,
I don't know if he will need it, but we'll see.
yeah. Eh,
Well,
you know,
he'll take the 16.
it's pretty good. I'm gonna say
So
that
far, yeah,
that
he
does it.
seems to know what he's doing. Um, and you can tell, even though he's got all these knickknacks around, and he seems to be rather scatterbrained, and he's working with cloth and thread somehow, but he does have the marked precision of someone who's done this many years before. Um, he's kind of just got this. You look at him and it's less that he's a tailor and he's more like he says he is. He's a doctor, a surgeon, and he's very carefully creating this glove right on top of your hand. He hasn't nicked you yet. We hope not, but um, and already he's kind of got like at least a third of it done.
Yeah.
But he does start to speak as he is working. Um, uh, so, where'd you come from? He's not very good
Bedside manner. Ah, yeah.
at bedside manner. What is that?
Uh, came out of Toontown.
Uh, and actually, for a moment, he stopped stitching. You came all the way from there? I hear it's real far. I've never been, but
Well,
uh,
you
he
know, it's,
looks very surprised.
when you go asking people, hey, where is it possible I could get like raw outline that isn't like straight from you, not to sound threatening, you don't get a lot of straight answers, and this was the lead I got.
Ah, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, as he keeps stitching, I mean, most of these, some of the stuff comes from Villestown. It's a bit of a trek, but I sometimes make it. Sometimes I get other people to make it. Like Donnie, and he gives another chuckle. Yeah, but can't believe you came all the way out here. You would think somebody in Toontown would have been able to do this. And he's working on like the second finger. Like this is just kind of progressing.
Yeah.
Um,
And Craigory just kind of shrugs the one shoulder, not attached to the arm that's being worked on. I mean, also kind of an excuse to just straight up travel. I haven't been many places really. I've been in one place. I was in one place most of my life. One or two.
and he gives a nod. Yeah, you look pretty young. I think. I don't know. I can't tell with tunes. Uh,
Yeah.
but it's good to get that stuff in early. Uh, people always talk about settling down and stuff. You know, and he keeps going. Should I make another check to
Uh,
see how
yeah. We'll
he's
say
doing?
it's been like halfway. Check to finish it.
Can I do?
Take your advantage.
I'm gonna do it again anyway. If it's worse, then we'll see. Oh, okay.
Okay, it's pretty much the same.
I guess in the middle he got a little distracted for a moment, but then he's like, "All right." Uh, uh, it looks like for a moment he does get this nostalgic look, like, "Yeah, I remember traveling and stuff. That's fun." Uh, but then now he's focused back on his work, um, and he's nearly done, but he's slowing down as he gets to the last parts, and he's like, how many doctors do they have anyway? In Toontown. You
Uh,
would think they'd have a lot.
I've honestly got no idea because I've never really seen one. No doctors in the woods, and my aunt is a bard, so I got a boo boo. I either went to her or she tracked me down very threateningly.
Ah, oh, and he gives a nod, like, oh yeah, that makes sense. A lot of people have healing magic and stuff. Um, and he finishes it up. Um, and rather than hold on, I gotta check. What does he have again? Ah, okay. So he's gonna go into his hammer space. Oh, okay, that works. Right? Or yeah.
Yeah, it works.
So he he gets out a little slip of twine, actually, like just a little piece of it, and he also gets the box cutter that's on the tray. He cuts it, but he actually ties the twine on it, which is a little weird. Um, but he ties the end off with that instead, um, and it looks like the glove is done. But he kind of puts his hand on top of yours for just a moment, as if to like not move it. He goes, "You probably shouldn't move it for a little bit. It's kind of got a," and he gestures. It's kind of got a stick, you know.
All right, makes sense.
Uh, I don't remember what the word is for it, and he's tapping his head like, oh, I don't know, but it kind of just it works like that. Um, and if you want, you can take a look at the finished glove or something.
He's going to do that with Arcana, I think.
Ooh, I got the
Wizard.
good roll. Um, so it's from what you can tell, it looks very similar to the other glove that you had made, um, but it seems to be that. Um, sorry, my brain is now losing words. Help. Uh, God, when you play this guy, your brain just kind of
Brain comes fluff.
yes, it
Whatever
does.
he's stuffed with.
Yeah, well, wouldn't you like to know, Wizard Boy? but but You can tell that the outline looks eerily similar to the one you made before, but also rather similar to your arm. It actually fits a little closer than it does the other one. But maybe it helps that he had two hands.
Hmm.
You tend to do this with one. Um, it and you kind of feel this weird energy from it, but like it's not unpleasant. Uh, it seems to kind of just doing its thing. You can tell it has both transformation and some kind of like enchantment upon it. Um,
Hmm.
but otherwise, it seems to be your glove. It's a glove.
Success? Question mark. But success.
All right.
The urge to wiggle his fingers is there, but the doctor told him to stay still, so I think he follows orders. Doctor's recommendation for now.
Um, yeah. Wait, can I roll insight on you?
Yeah.
I want to see if he notices the finger wiggling her.
Must fidget. Must fidget.
Ah, yes, he noticed. I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Uh, he kind of looks you dead in the eye and is like, "All right, listen. If you want to move it, you can, but like, I mean, I would suggest it because it's been a while since I've did this kind of thing." And he's just gesturing to the glove. But if you want to make a move, you can.
I'll uh I'll try to keep it still for now, but in terms of like what exactly you've done, is that just related to how you finger quote with the freehand processed it? Like,
Oh yeah. See, uh, and actually, what he does is he he hesitates for a moment over his like front patch pocket, uh, but then he looks at you and he's like, "Yeah, all right, I'll show you." And he actually takes out a little bit of the thread from the patch, and he opens the patch up, and you can see inside of
oh,
like where his body would be. Um, it is not filled with stuffing or fluff or sand. You could swear you almost see like a packing peanut in there,
yeah, I was about to
but
say, and not packing
but you're not
peanuts.
sure. But most of it is this wriggling, writhing mass of thread. Um,
Ooh.
it's just uh, most likely the thread he had before, but there is this glow to it. It's like this. It's like these purple and yellow as it's kind of wriggling about a bit. And he's like, "Yeah, I don't know how it works really, but it works. Uh, I just eat the stuff and it comes out right." um,
Useful.
and and he kind of just looks at it like, "Yeah, look at it move." He wiggles about and it wiggles more. Yeah, it's kind of my own thing. And he kind of stitches it back up a bit. Um,
And the twine? You said there was twine kind of hanging off the end, right?
yeah. Oh, yeah. That's actually a good indicator. When that falls off, that means everything's been stuck.
Oh,
Uh, what is the word? In incorp
and
incorporated.
yeah.
Right, right. Everything's been together. Once it falls off, then you can start moving your hand. That should be soon.
Okay,
I don't imagine it's going to take very long.
that's good. Um, one, thank you. This has been really interesting. if it's going to follow up, and this might now also be a good time to talk about like payment. Do you take? What's the deal here?
And he had turned around to start like cleaning up the supplies, but he stops when you say deal, and he's like, ah, oh right, payment. Ah,
I mean, I assume.
and right, and he nods. Let's go back out to the desk. Um, he kind of jumps off the bed thing and pushes the cabinets closed, and then just opens the door to let you back out
All right.
to the foyer.
Gregory follows, trying to be careful to keep that hand still. Attempts are made.
And you both go around the like Gregory, you kind of go around the desk to like face it. I'm assuming.
Yeah.
And he gets back on the chair. All right. So now, usually payment is made in gold, and you could tell he gets a little glitter in his eye when he says that. He's like, yeah, gold. But he looks you up and down again. You know, you seem to be a good kid, and you're a wizard too. So I know that you need to save that money for important writing stuff, I think. And he kind of makes his little jazz hands, like, I guess, I don't know.
I mean, Gregory won't dispute that ingredients can be expensive. Components, yep.
Oh yeah. And so he sits and he kind of steeples his hands together. I think the best way about this, perhaps, is to make a deal. And he gives a smile. But then, then he stops. The smile's gone. Wait, I forgot. Um, I've been told by a couple clients not to call them deals because it sounds, and he puts this in quotes, shady or something. I mean, well, you get deals at a supermarket or something, don't you? Like you don't bat an eye at that. And he's just like, so I guess a better word is maybe a trade of sorts. We could do some bartering. Or if that's not your style, you can do what Donnie's doing. Which
Bring you
is, you know,
packing peanuts?
well, that's not. You can tell even though he's just made out of fabric and whatnot, he gets like a little blush, like, no, not just the packing peanuts. Though I do like them, and he does take another one and chomps it. No, I mean running errands for me. I'm not exactly the most mobile person, and he kind of just flails his arms a little bit.
I just immediately thought of like
Yeah.
Kermit arms flailing.
Yeah, well, not that intense, but he's like, you can tell he's pretty raggedy.
Yeah.
So
I
yeah,
don't know
so
how much help I'd be on that particular thing, considering I did come from Toontown, but I also am living around there. I don't know how much help I'd be.
Suppose then, I guess we could do some kind of trade of sorts. And he looks very pensive, like, well, what do we trade? What are we gonna do? And it's not in a coy way. He's literally just like, what do we do?
Gregory's thinking through things he has, and he looks around the store, and he kind of eyes slide to the exam room again. He goes, I mean, gold might work depending on the amount, but suppose I trade you a bit of supplies. I mean, little bit of ink letting never killed anyone, right? Didn't kill me.
He's nodding along with the materials, but then he stops at ink letting, and he's like, "What?"
I
Uh,
mean, it's just first thing that popped my mind. Don't need to.
uh, Wait, are you? And he immediately gets up, and his threads are kind of on you for a minute, and he's like, are you leaking somewhere? Where are you
No,
okay?"
I'm not. I'm not.
Ah, God, I thought I'd have to do another patch job.
No, no,
He
no.
did look a little worried for a moment, like, "Oh, geez, you leaking? You sprung a leak?"
No, no, no. You've done a good job. Just
Uh, unless you're planning to be a repeat customer, I don't think inkletting will be necessary. I mean, perhaps I could use it in some later endeavor if you choose to come back, which I don't blame you if you don't, but, since it's so far. But yeah, he actually takes a clipboard from the desk, and he starts tapping on it and flipping through a couple pages. All right, so you already had you had the all right, and then he takes out like a ledger and he starts going through it. You already had the cloth, but I had to spun the thread and the other thing and this, and he's kind of just staring at the book. You mind making one more insight for fun?
yeah, always.
Uh, you know what? I'll say that works anyway. I want to say it anyways. He
Hell yeah.
actually is very confused
Oh
because
no.
you notice the different the way he has it held. You can actually look at it a little upside down. You have there are different costs listed for different materials, and all the numbers are kind of confusing him.
Oh
He's like,
no.
he's just like, uh, well, uh,
Did
yeah.
did you want me to try and look at that?
He kind of flushes a little. He looks a bit embarrassed. He can't help it, and he closes the ledger real quickly. Oh, I've run this business for what, 20 years. I know how to do a little arithmetic. That's the right word, right? And he stops for a moment.
Uh,
That's the right one.
yeah, it's the right word.
Yeah,
But math
arithmetic.
doesn't come easy to everyone. So,
Yeah, I guess. And he tugs a little nervously at one of his patches. Um, all right. Well, let's see. Processing and uh, uh and then he gets like a little light bulb over his head. I got it. I got it. Okay. Okay. Let's do this. And, he 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 pulls out one of the drawers of the desk, and shuffles a couple papers about, and he gets one sheet and like a couple envelopes out, and he he hands them over to you. Uh, he seemed like a real smart fella. Why don't uh, why don't we exchange information? You see, I'm not exactly the shiniest button of the bunch, and he he kind of knocks his head a little. Um,
is there a hollow sound?
I could always do.
Something small rattle in there?
No, nothing. You might have heard a small crackle from a packing peanut, but that's about it.
In his head. All right.
And he, you notice though that the envelopes he hands to you does have like the address of the place on here. Um, but it's written in a script that you can't quite. Well, actually, I don't know if you can decipher it. I mean, you probably could. I don't know, but you can tell just from the way that it's positioned on there that it's an address, and it does have the little symbol on it too of the place.
All right. Uh, yeah, if this works for you, then information exchange, yeah. Because you definitely, I know magic.
That's he he mutters quietly. That makes one of us. He didn't mean for you to hear, but you probably did with how close he is. But he gives another smile. And also 5G, if you don't mind.
Of course. Absolutely. He's gonna pull that out of hammerspace and hand it over. Yep.
Nice.
5G
And
to Ragdoll Grandpa.
and he takes that. Admittedly, it's tough for him to not be eager about getting some money, so he's quick to take it, and he's like, "Yes." Yeah, he actually very quickly stows that away in his hammer space. Well, it has been a real pleasure working with you, and he sticks out a hand for you to shake. And wait, which was is Craigory left-handed or right? I'm curious.
He is right-handed.
Ah, so I'm thinking you instinctively go to reach with your right.
Yeah.
And you notice, though, that the twine has fallen off.
Oh, there we go.
He does give a little bit of a more delicate handshake, even more so than it was before. But you could tell that there's just kind of this warmth about him, like, yeah, this was nice.
Yeah. But yeah, thank you. I'll be in touch then, and let me know what you'd like to know.
Neat. And he pulls the box of packing peanuts. You want a couple more for the road? Yeah, the first person actually ate them.
Well, I would actually.
And he goes with both hands because his hands are kind of small, and he gives like a little handful, and he's like,
Oh.
"Here you go."
Oh, and he'll take them. Puts most in the hammer space. I don't know. He got like maybe 10 or something, and just pops one in his mouth. Pleasure doing business.
Yeah. He gives an enthusiastic nod. Well, whenever you're back around again, you can always drop by.
Yeah, I'll keep that in mind. And I think with final thank yous, Craigory exits the shop.
And the door closes behind you. And you
I think
you take a couple of steps through the alleyway, and quite suddenly, when you come back out of the other side, you're right back to where you started. Well, like where the map was and stuff.
yeah. That is
kind
an
of weird.
interesting bit of magic.
That's pretty much about it, I think.
Yep. Just Craigory got what he came here for, and he's just gonna prep to leave town again. And if it sounds like the FPS, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Woo.
So,
Hand solution
thank you.
2.0. Thank you, Wick.
No problem. So thank you all for listening. And I'll end the recording.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.